good day, everyone. Welcome back to the show. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Today's special guest is a true action superstar, a legend of his time, Matthias Hues. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Sean. Thanks for having me. And what do you want to know? Let's talk. Podcast, because it's like living room talk, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now, I will call you Matthias because we're both German, and Matthias is the correct pronunciation. So it's not Matthias, it's Matthias, and I can actually pronounce the name. So Matthias, the first movie that I actually saw you on was in No Retreat, No Surrender, Part 2. And I have to ask you a question, and you have to confirm if that's correct or if somebody wrote some bullshit on the internet. Kurt Mckinney and Jean-Claude Van Damme were supposed to be in the second movie because they were in the first one, but they canceled last minute. And the director, Corey Ewan, needed a tall European-looking guy with muscles, and that's how you had your start in the movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's really correct. It's a crazy story. It's even crazier than that. For some reason, Van Damme, I think the rumor was he got in a fight because he thought he should be the good guy now. Right. So he apparently was already in Thailand and he walked out of it. And the woman who wrote it, she lived in Pasadena. She was also the producer, had a Chinese American producer fly down to Los Angeles. They didn't know what to do. So back then they had a phone book and they said, I'm going to close my eyes, the woman said, and wherever my finger lands, we're going to call there. And we're going to ask all the gym section, right? All the gyms were in this yellow book. We call them and say, do you know someone from Europe? So she did that, and it was Gold's Gym Venice, and I just joined that gym. And I told the manager, I'm going to be an actor, and he's like, yeah, sure, everyone's going to be an actor, right? But he got that phone call from this producer, and he said, you're not going to believe it. They're looking for someone that's from Europe and a kickboxer. And they sent me up there, and I had my father's German leather pants on, the Bavarian leather pants, and
of course.
Cowboy boots and cowboy boots. It was ridiculous outfit, right? But it got me the job. And next thing you know, I was in Thailand replacing Van Damme. I couldn't speak English yet. I didn't know what I was getting into. I wasn't a movie fighter. I was just so, never done anything. And boy, that was a wake-up call for me, for everyone on the set. They expected Van Damme, and then I show up.
Yeah, the crazy part is, I mean, that was your first real movie, and you get such a big role being the villain of the movie. And the usual way is when you start in the business, you get a very tiny role and you work yourself up, and you basically were put right into the middle, and you did a solid job. I mean, if you go on YouTube, this is the crazy part. This is something that I found out just today. Your fight on No Retreat, No Surrender on YouTube has 28 million views.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah, and
unbelievable.
I know, it's crazy. But it wasn't all roses. I'm not kidding. The whole team called me down the first day I was there into the lobby outside of the hotel in Bangkok. And there were hundreds and hundreds of people. There were cameras everywhere and this and that, and thousands of spectators. And the director wanted to see if I'm as good as Van Damme. And I wasn't. And it was a public humiliation in front of all these people. And they actually left me there. I thought I'm going to be fired. And they took off filming in the jungle. And they said, no, you're going to have to learn how to do movie fighting. They left me behind. And wow. I was training every day. They gave me a trainer. But I thought to myself, I will do whatever it takes. I'd rather die on this movie before I'm not going to be, accepted. They're all Hong Kong martial artists. They're the best in the world.
Yes.
And, I did learn it rather quickly. And I ended up, kicking ass in it. I had no experience, but you learn really fast because they make you learn it. It's like Karate Kid, the film Karate Kid. It was just like that. I had my mentor, and I was doing everything he said, and eventually I was like, oh my God, I can do this. And it was so much fun. And when you're young, like my age, I was 26. Like I said, I would have killed myself for it. They say, do it, I'll do it. I was like, I'll do it. I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
Now, the other thing was, you just mentioned that the guys from Hong Kong, but Cynthia Rothrock was in the movie.
Unbelievable.
the
Yeah.
best female fighter of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Lauren Avedon, one of the best
Unbelievable.
fighters, incredible.
Yeah. And it
And
was me, the idiot, who wasn't a professional fighter. They were so good, but they put you on a level with them. You know what I mean? It wasn't about being the best Taekwondo fighter or world champion in kata or whatever, like Cynthia is. It is literally how much pain can you take? It's all about Chinese Hong Kong fighting. Is for real. I mean, you can't even lift your toothbrush at the end of the day. I really mean it.
no, I
And
believe you.
Cynthia taught me that. I mean, she was taking full hits. And I thought, if she can take it, I can take it. And if Lauren Avedon can take it, we'll just go for it, you know? And we all were always like, oh, but this was a good training ground, you know?
Yeah, I can believe that. Now, after No Retreat, No Surrender, you had 2 movies, which were also martial arts movies, fighting movies, Cage Fighter and what was it, Fist Fighter? Fist Fighter. Yeah. How difficult was it for you, being in your 3rd or 4th movie, knowing, okay, hey, people are going to see me for a long time in the film. I got to perform also acting wise, not only, I mean, when you're the first time on the movie, you're a little bit like, oh, everything is crazy, but with your 3rd and 4th movie, you at least know a little how the business is going and you have a little bit more pressure. How did you deal with that?
It's so gradual, you know. The biggest pressure in these films, obviously, is only the fighting. And Fist Fighter, that was serious stuff. You know, the guy, Jimmy Nickerson, he choreographed the Rocky movies. So he wanted to do something like Rocky. And he went straight with me in the box ring. And the first minute in the box ring, he already split my lip wide open. So I have a broken lip. And he says, I'm going to break that lip every single day till you learn how to keep your hands up. So for the whole 4 weeks in the trainings camp, we go to an actual trainings camp before you start shooting. All it is you getting hurt. So it's just like you have the pleasure of what other people see in movies. You can go through like yourself. It's like I said, it's like Karate Kid. So from No Retreat, No Surrender, Samuel Hawk, what was his name? Yeah, he's the Korean fighter who also fought Cynthia. I think Samuel. He was one of the best fighters in Hong Kong and always played the bad guy, already with Bruce Lee. Long story short, he trained me and it was like a movie. You know, they train you, they have so much experience. Next thing you know, you get trained by Jimmy Nickerson, even though it's very hard. They hurt you, they humiliate me. It ended up being so brutal that at the end of my training, I ended up in a real fight with him.
Wow.
Because I finally had it. He was, you know, constantly splitting my lips and I took him on in front of the whole crew. So it's kind of like real, you know what I mean? It's like we are being tested to the limit and everyone wants to know if you're for real or not. And if you learned your lesson. And with Jimmy Nickerson, before the movie started, I took him in front of everyone and we fought. So it's just really for real, right? But by the time you shoot the movie, gradually from movie to movie, you become that guy. They beat the pussy out of you. You either perform, you're either willing to take the punches, train really hard, or you're out of there. It's only for the people that really want it, you know? This is serious stuff. This is not like, oh, I have a black belt, let me see, I can throw a roundhouse kick. That's not it. You have to be working, you have to work so hard, so many hours, and you have to be able to get hit and come back up, humiliated. And when you're not the lead, you're always in the shadow. So you have to overcome that. You have little lines, you want to say more, but you have only so few lines, you know. You're slowly dying to get your claws deeper and deeper. You want to just explode and say, no, I can do it. But it's a very small, gradual process. First, you have to become that action guy for real. And then you have to end up being that actor that, you know, at least can walk and talk. And then later you're like, oh my God, I get it. It's like, you have to really mean what you say and you can't think about your lines. You just have to be authentic. You don't play anyone else. The most important thing I learned, don't ever try to be someone else. So I'm not Seagal, I'm not Arnold, you are yourself, create yourself, you know, create that guy. Don't be like other guys, you know.
I think that worked pretty well for you because I can't compare you to anybody else. You are you, and there's nobody like you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really such a long way, and I'm telling you, it's not easy because in Hollywood you never feel like you're there. There's always someone better looking, more talented, better fighter. So you stay really humble, because around the corner is always someone that's going to knock you off. And I think everything in life takes time, like you said. You have to slowly learn it.
Yeah.
Earn it.
In 1990, you came into the video store with a movie that to me is my favorite movie of you, but also now called classic, Dark Angel, aka I Come in Peace. I'm not saying that to flatter you. I'm just saying my honest opinion. I think the way you play the villain is one of the best villain performances ever, because you come across so intimidating, and you don't come across as an actor. You actually come across like a creature from a different planet. And this is what good acting is about, that you don't realize that it's an actor playing something, but you believe that the person is something else. And you were so intimidating. I remember I got my mom had to go to the video store, rent the movie. I was like, I think 10 or so, saw the movie, and I soiled myself because I was so afraid. I didn't see it coming, because the movie starts off so typically action. Yeah, like a typical action movie, and all of a sudden this huge creature comes across with the wide eyes and everything. It was brilliant. And to come with my question now, did you know at that time that that this would be probably the movie people will remember you from?
Not while I was doing it, but I have to tell you, it's such an interesting story. So I did No Retreat, No Surrender 2, right? And then Fist Fighter, and then comedy, and then this one came around. And so we always get breakdowns. That means the agencies all over the world actually get this breakdown, and it says, looking for guys 6'10", over 6'5", has to be willing to do. He has to be a full-fledged athlete. Looking for world champions, whatever, right? So I walk in there and I see a waiting room full of world champions, decathlon, basketball players, and you already think, oh my God, this is absolutely crazy, the competition in Hollywood. Everyone is big, has muscles. But I'm not kidding. I walked in that door and the director saw me, and I don't know what happened. And he right away said, hold on one second. He sent everyone out. I didn't even audition. And he took me in his private office and he says, listen, for some reason, I'm going to tell you something right now. This movie was written for Dolph Lundgren to be the lead, to be that Dark Angel. And for some reason, he doesn't want to do it. But I have a feeling about you. And if I give you that role, would you be willing to die for it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You would have to do everything I say. You got to do all your own stunts. I want to see your face at all times. And I want you to be the best you can be. And I'll make you a star, because that was written for Dolph. And he is crazy to turn this role down. This is your movie and you're going to do this. And welcome to the team. And that was it. They looked at nobody anymore. I mean, I walked out of there being the Dark Angel, right? So then I get long hair extension, and I had long blonde hair and I had all the muscles. And then the producer sees me and he says, no, you're not playing a rock star. You're playing a fucking alien. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm sorry, I'm cussing. I was so disappointed, because I thought, finally, I look good. I could be like, this cover model or whatever. I was totally wrong. And he says, no, that's not how it works. So they dyed my hair white and they put white contact lenses in, and I look like a monster. And I realized he's right. You need a monster. This guy has to be a monster, right? And it slowly evolved into the fact that the director, Greg Bexley, who did Dukes of Hazzard, who was the ultimate macho stuntman in Hollywood, the real deal, was true to his words. And he says, every night you're going to fear for your life. You're going to run for your life. And every night I heard this special effects coordinator and the stunt coordinator saying, Matthias will die tonight. This is too much. This is no one can survive this. And he always said, no, Matthias. If someone can do it, it's Matthias. You just have to jump higher, run faster. You promised, so you're going to do it. And I did everything he said. And that created this character because I had no time to think. It's just I was running for my life every freaking night. It's like, oh, again? No, this time, you also have your contact lens and you run over the cars and each car will explode and all that. I'm like, but I can't see through the contact lens. Well, just go for it. Just go for it. You'll do it. I know you can do it. So you end up doing it, and that I became this guy.
Well, thank you for all the hard work. It paid off at the end. The result was
fun.
Yeah, the result was a great movie with, as I said, one of my favorite villains of all time. So thanks a lot for the hard work.
Thanks for the pushing. That was really
Yeah, of course, man. Well deserved. Matthias, one more movie we got to talk about before I can let you go. Kickboxer 2. Now, the first Kickboxer movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. That's partly because I was a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan back in the days. Yeah. So when the second movie came out, and it was without Van Damme, I was already a little bit afraid. But did you realize back in the day that it's going to be difficult to do a sequel to such a movie without Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Absolutely. I'm a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I'm one of his biggest fans. I love the guy. He set precedents for all the other martial art movies. So he's like an icon, and an icon needs to be, respected. And I figured part 2 without him, not going to work because it's Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, but I did it anyway because I wasn't replacing him or anything. I would think I would be replacing Van Damme because I'm Matthias Hues, so I can't. I just am the bad guy. And we had our Tong Po again, Michel Kissy, which I really respect a lot. So I was very happy that Michel Kissy was in this movie because he represented the real deal to me. And I thought, well, we're only halfway cheating because we got Michel Kissy, he's a wonderful guy. And then I think the movie there was bigger budget. So ironically, I'm not lying to you. Every single movie that we did after that had Van Damme in it and then hasn't had him in it again was way bigger budget. Mm-hmm. So No Retreat, No Surrender Part 2 was a theatrical movie. They spent $5 million on it, something like that. And Kickboxer, they spent a lot of money on it, like really big budget. And for a sequel, that was really risky because Van Damme wasn't even in it. But the quality of the cameras and the stadium and the people, that was full on, It was a big production. So I was like, at least it's a big production, So...
I mean, I also would have done the movie. If I was in your shoes, I also would have done the movie. I just feel that if Van Damme would have been in the movie,
yes,
instead of I forgot his name. What was the name of the guy who was the lead? Mitchell.
Mitchell, yeah.
Mitchell something.
This is really bad because he's such a nice guy. Sasha Mitchell.
Yeah, Sasha Mitchell.
Okay.
Michel Kissy also, I talked to him about this guy a few days ago. And Michel Kissy also said that he felt the movie could have been better if Van Damme would have been in it. No hits to Sasha Mitchell, but Van Damme is Van Damme.
Van Damme is Van Damme. Sasha Mitchell is an amazing guy who has its own universe. But it's unfair for Sasha Mitchell to be put in that position. Like Daniel Bernhardt did Bloodsport 2.
Yes.
And Daniel Bernhardt is amazing. I mean,
absolutely. But you can't only fail to replace Van Damme in a movie. You can only fail.